Hey, folks, welcome to the Alliance Pro Wrestling Network podcast. I'm your host, Louis Carlin. We're heard right here on the Alliance Pro Wrestling Network. The Good Brothers contract with Impact Wrestling is up in about a year. Are they looking to sign with AEW full time once that contract is up? They Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows, Doc Gallows they were on their Talking Shop podcast, and Carl Anderson said that he's not doing Talking Shop Shopomania 3. They're not doing that. They won't be producing that. And there was an article in Fightful.com. That was the headline of the article. It says Carl Anderson says he's not doing Talking Shopomania 3. Okay, do you think about they're not doing Talking Shopomania 3, but if you scroll down, and here's what Carl Anderson had to say during the podcast. It was during a Q&A session on and Carl Anderson was asked what's next for the Good Brothers when their contracts with Impact expire in 2022. And Carl Anderson said, Impact took a chance on us in the middle of the most insane times in the history of our life. I'll love Impact forever, and I love AEW's office, their boss, their bosses, their people. I love Impact's bosses and people. In about a year, we're going to find out exactly where the Good Brothers are going to be. How about we do a 12-month countdown to Fucktown? One more time. He says, one thing I'm not doing is just talking Shopomania 3. So he mentions he's not doing that. But listen to the quote here. Let's read the quote and let's break down this quote again. You know, it says, Impact took a chance on us in the middle of one of the most insane times in the history of our life. He says, I'll love Impact forever. And I love AEW's office. I think that end was meant to be a but. I'll love Impact forever, but I love AEW's office, their boss, and their bosses, and their people. And then he realizes what he's saying, and then he circles back and says, "Oh, well, I love Impact's bosses and people as well." I know that they got a close relationship with Scott D'Amore, and I know he's not screwing around when he says I love Impact's bosses. I'm sure him and Scott D'Amore, they have a tremendously great relationship. Because in about a year, we're going to find out exactly where the Good Brothers are going to be. Notice he doesn't say that we're sticking around with Impact, and he mentions that he loves again. Let's say AEW's office, their boss, and their bosses, their people. And with the partnership right now, you have Kenny Omega, who's on Impact Wrestling, and the Good Brothers on Dynamite in AEW, and they seem to fit right in. If someone didn't know anything about this partnership between Impact and AEW, they would think that the Good Brothers are actually signed to AEW. If you read this quote again, if you look at it closely, if you read between the lines, I kind of get the feeling, I kind of get the gut feeling that they're going to be signing full time with AEW once their contract with Impact Wrestling is done. I really think that they're going to be signing with AEW. And again, you reading this quote, you try to read between the lines, and it kind of saying, I love AEW, I love AEW's office, their boss, their bosses, their people. I also love Impact Wrestling's bosses as well. He goes, I'll love Impact forever, but I kind of love AEW as well. So they're signing with AEW 100%, in my opinion, when their contract is up in 2022 with Impact Wrestling. And I know they signed with Impact Wrestling because of the close relationship that they had with Scott D'Amore, and Scott D'Amore offered them. Said that they will be able to work for New Japan Pro Wrestling if they sign with Impact Wrestling, and they got a bunch of other perks as well, a lot of incentives to sign with Impact Wrestling, and they did. They signed it. So normally, Impact signs talent to a 3-year deal, 3-year deals, but they only signed for 2. Which might have been a little smart on the part of the Good Brothers, but I really feel that they're going to be signing with AEW, and I know they want to work with New Japan Pro Wrestling as well. And AEW and New Japan Pro Wrestling, they have their working relationship now. So I got the feeling also that there'll be no issue for the Good Brothers to work with New Japan Pro Wrestling. while they're in AEW. So when the contract is up, I can't remember the exact month, but it's up in 2022. Probably a year from now, just about a year from now, I think. Maybe it's June 2022. The contract is up. If you ask me, if I was a betting man, if I had $1,000 and you said, "All right, are you going to bet on the Good Brothers signing with AEW, or are you going to bet on the Good Brothers signing with Impact Wrestling?" Despite what the odds are, I'm picking AEW 100%. I'm picking AEW 100%, and I fully expect to see the Good Brothers in AEW full time um, when their contract does expire. And where's that going to leave Impact Wrestling if they do in fact sign with AEW? Where does that leave Impact Wrestling? Are they still going to have a partnership with AEW in a year? If the Good Brothers, jump ship to AEW and leave Impact Wrestling, the whole reason behind this working relationship, in my opinion, is yes, Kenny Omega could work in Impact Wrestling, but it was also get the Good Brothers into AEW. I think that was if the Good Brothers weren't in Impact Wrestling, say for example, if the Good Brothers were still in the WWE, I don't think we would have a partnership between AEW and Impact Wrestling. It wouldn't really make much sense for AEW. I mean, I think they really wanted the Good Brothers. The Good Brothers fit in well. They have a history with the Kenny Omega. They have history with the Young Bucks, so they fit in nicely with AEW and the talent that's on the Impact Wrestling. I'm sorry, the AEW roster. So I'm thinking if it wasn't for the Good Brothers, there would be no partnership. Now that's just the way I feel. I could be wrong. But that's kind of the way I feel. But I don't see them sticking around, and like if they do move back, if they do move not back, but if they move over to AEW full time next year, um, what's Impact Wrestling going to do if there's no more partnership? That's why Impact Wrestling needs to start planning for the future, like right freaking now. I don't want to go on a rant about that, but they need to start planning for the future right now. And I know they're bringing in some decent talent. Josh Alexander, X Division champion, his contract is coming up. I think at the end of this year as well. They're bringing in some new talent. We'll see who they bring in Slammiversary as well. But bottom line, again, if I'm a betting man next year, when the Good Brothers contract is up with Impact Wrestling, if I'm a betting man, my money's on Good Brothers signing with AEW. So there you have it. All right. So All Japan Pro Wrestling. All Japan Pro Wrestling is going to crown a new Triple Crown champion at Champions Night, which is this Saturday. I cannot wait for that. June 26th. Originally was supposed to be Sawama defending the New Japan Pro Wrestling Triple Crown. I'm sorry, the All Japan Pro Wrestling Triple Crown Championship against Jake Lee, who was the winner of the Champion Carnival, the Champion Carnival tournament. Jake Lee was the winner, so he was getting the shot against Sawama, but Sawama came down with COVID-19. Unfortunately, hope he's doing okay, but he had to relinquish the title. So at All Japan Pro Wrestling's Champion Night show in Tokyo this Saturday. There are three wrestlers involved: Jake Lee, Kento Miyahara, and Yuma Aoyagi. I always have trouble pronouncing his last name, and I apologize. But Yuma Aoyagi, hope I got that right. Jake Lee and Kento Miyahara. It's going to be a three-person battle where they'll face off in singles matches, which will take place one after the other. The first wrestler to win two matches in a row becomes the new Triple Crown champion. So we can have a whole series of matches. Somebody needs to win two matches in a row. So if Kento Miyahara is taking on Jake Lee wins, and then Jake Lee takes on Yuma Aoyagi and loses, and then Aoyagi takes on Miyahara and loses to Miyahara, the matches go on. Someone has to win two matches in a row. I think this is a good concept. I think it's a great concept because we can have like I said, a whole series of matches until somebody wins two in a row. And I can't wait for this. I can't wait for this. I have my All Japan Pro Wrestling TV. This is going to be absolutely fantastic. I'm picking Jake Lee to win the All Japan Pro Wrestling Triple Crown Championship. He's going to be the new champion. It's a long time coming for Jake Lee. Hopefully, it could be Kento Miyahara. I was reading online that they might put it back on Kento Miyahara, but nobody really knows. I really hope it's Jake Lee. So Jake Lee's my pick to win the Triple Crown Championship this Saturday in Tokyo for All Japan Pro Wrestling. And I can't wait for this one. It's going to be an absolutely tremendous, tremendous series of matches. And who knows? I mean, Kento Miyahara might win the first two matches, and that's it. It's done. Jake Lee might win two matches quickly, but I don't think it's gonna. I think it's gonna be played out for a while. I think we're gonna see a whole bunch of series of matches until somebody finally wins two matches in a row. And again, my pick is Jake Lee. Speaking of tremendous matches, independent wrestling promotion Global Syndicate Wrestling has announced just an absolutely tremendous match for their on night 2 of the Global Festival, August 21st in New Jersey. It's going to be Davey Richards, who just came back into returning to pro wrestling, signed with MLW, is also wrestling on the independent scene, wrestling for Global Syndicate Wrestling. He's taking on the Impact Wrestling X Division champion Josh Alexander. That's going to be one hell of a match. David Richards was announced. His first match was announced in MLW. He's going to be taking on TJP. That's, I think, in July. I think July 10th, if I'm not mistaken. But then the next month, he's taking on Josh Alexander. That's going to be an insane match. That's going to be absolutely insane. I commend I take my hat off to Global Syndicate Wrestling for booking that match. That's going to be absolutely fantastic. Davey Richards against Josh Alexander. My goodness. The American Wolf against a walking weapon. Wow. Wow, that's going to be amazing. I can't wait for that one. I've yet to order a Global Syndicate Wrestling event, but I think for this match, I think I'm going to order my first Global Syndicate Wrestling event. I'm sure it's going to be on Fight TV, but Davey Richards one-on-one with Josh Alexander, that's going to be crazy. That's going to be an incredible. Davey Richards was at the top of his game when he left pro wrestling, but now he's back. And Josh Alexander, one of the best in the world, the X Division champion. So it's really MLW or Impact Wrestling, but it's not going to be booked at. It's not going to be built like that because it's Global Syndicate Wrestling. But still, this is going to be just an outstanding match. I can't wait for that one. Everyone needs to see everyone needs to see that one. That's going to be terrific. And again, bravo to Global Syndicate Wrestling for putting that match together. Speaking of MLW, MLW has sold out. Battle Riot 3 has sold out in Philadelphia. MLW has announced that the July 10th Battle Riot event in Philadelphia at the 2300 Arena has sold out. Major League Wrestling today announced that its highly anticipated return, the Battle Riot 3, has officially sold out. The event is a full capacity sellout and marks the first MLW card to feature a crowd since March 2020. So great job, MLW. Great job, Court Bauer. The fans want wrestling. They want to attend wrestling shows. This show has sold out. It's a full capacity event in Philadelphia at the 2300 Arena. MLW selling it out. Great job. Congratulations, Court Bauer, on doing that. And on this show again, the main event is going to be a 40 wrestler battle riot. So far, Alexander Hammerstone, who's going to win the Battle Riot and get his shot at Jacob Fatu, King Muertes, Mads Kruger, Richard Holiday, TJP, Myron Reed, Gino Medinez, Ariz, Kevin Koo, Lee Moriarty, Gringo, Senshi, all part of this 40 wrestler Battle Riot, and more wrestlers will be announced as the days and weeks go by. Caribbean heavyweight champion Richard Holiday defends against King Muertes. King Muertes going to run right over Richard Holiday and take that title. And as I mentioned, Davey Richards taking on TJP, and what's going to be just a tremendous match there. And speaking of MLW, they're returning. They're already they sold out Philadelphia, and they've already announced their return to Philadelphia for Fightland, October 21st. I'm sorry, October 2021. An exact date hasn't been announced yet. So October 2021, they returned to Philadelphia, the 2300 Arena, formerly the ECW Arena, for Fightland. So that's going to be a tremendous event. Tickets go on sale. October 2nd, actually. It says here October 2nd. Tickets go on sale for this October 2nd event this Friday, for MLW Fightland. Scheduled to appear the World Heavyweight Champion Jacob Fatu, Ross and Marshall Von Erich, Alexander Hammerstone, the National Openweight Champion, King Muertes, who will be the Caribbean Champion by then, Mance Kruger, Davey Richards, Richard Holiday, World Middleweight Champion Myron Reed. I hope he defends against Lee Moriarty, Alicia Atut, Azteca Underground, Calvin Tankman, Gina Medina, and more will be showing up. Will be appearing October 2nd. MLW's return to Philadelphia for Fightland. All right. MLW really getting things done right now. They're doing a great job. Love what they're doing. And Court Bauer's been doing just a tremendous job. And it's great to see this this great promotion grow and grow and grow. And 2021 is going to be a great year for MLW, and I can't wait to see what 2022 holds for MLW. Great promotion. Once again, October 21st, returning to Philadelphia for Fightland, October 2nd, 2021. On that note, I'm going to say thank you very much for listening to me today. My name is Louis Carlin. If you're listening to for the first time, if you like what you hear, check out some more content. If you like the content, maybe consider hitting that subscribe button. I would really appreciate it. I'd be very grateful. Thank you very much. Take care. Bye-bye. Stay safe, everyone. So long. Bye-bye.